Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to church. Have you been? I know you haven't seen my face in a couple of weeks, but have you guys been? Really, have you been? How has everybody at home? I know some schools have sort of started rounding up with online classes for the term. Did you have exams? How did it go? I really hope you guys are keeping safe and doing very well. So we finished one series last week Sunday, and we're starting another one this week. This one is about influence. I'm sure influence is not a new word to you guys. I'm sure we have heard influence. We've heard good influence, bad influence. We've heard people say, don't let people around you be a bad influence to you. Whatever you think of influences the way you, or what you surround yourself with influences the things you do. So this series is going to take us through 3 or 4 weeks, I think, and we're basically just going to look at, how do we learn the good things that would allow to let influence us. How do we learn the spirit of discernment? I'm sure some of us have also heard the word discernment before. So discernment is basically deciding between good and evil, right? So I would not talk too much. I'll leave you guys to watch the video, and as usual, I'll be back after and we'll talk about it. See you.
Hey Switch, my name is Ryan Hunter. What? It's just there, dog. Everybody do this. Start whenever. I get the opportunity of joining you tonight, but real quick, everybody do this for me. Hold us up, hold us up, hold us up. Now stick it to your chin. Boom, stick it to your chin. Pause. Is that on your chin? Is that on your chin? No, it's not. Now I know probably because you watched me do that, you stuck it to your cheek, right? Another thing I want to ask you guys about, have anyone ever noticed how contagious yawning is? Maybe you're staring at someone in class and you see them yawn and you're just instantly just starting to stretch. Or probably some of you are yawning right now just because I said the word yawn. I'm sorry. I mean, it's so contagious. You see, tonight we're going to talk about something called influence. See, it's a very big word. We hear it all the time. What the heck does it mean? You see, things like this, where you do this just because you see me doing it, or you yawn just because you see someone yawn, that's influence. And what's so crazy is we're all so easily influenced. You hear adults say all the time that you're an influencer or don't be under the influence. But what we recognize is there's this invisible battle going on all the time for our influence. You see, Nike and Adidas, companies like that, they'll spend millions of dollars every single year for these incredible advertisements that get us to what? Be influenced to buy their product. You see, influence is this constant thing going on behind the scenes, trying to win you over. The Instagram vlogger trying to get you to like her page. The commercial trying to get you to buy their stuff. There's this battle going on to influence you. And what's crazy is we're often more influenced than we think we are. I know a lot of you might say, man, I'm not influenced. I do what I want. I'm the influencer. I set the standard. I set the tone. You honestly were probably here because someone influenced you and brought you to church at one point in your life. I mean, I know that's why I'm at church, is because someone brought me through their influence. Shouldn't hit my chest, right? I remember growing up, I was playing basketball, and one of my best friends on the team, he was my teammate, my roommate, he was from the UK. He spoke with this beautiful English accent. All the girls loved him. He was that friend that anytime we went somewhere, they weren't like, oh, hey, Ryan, how you doing, man? How's your life going? Is everything going good for you? No, they're like, oh, hey, Ryan, what's up? Where's your mom? And I was like, okay, dope. He's over there. Go say what's up to him. But anyways, he was that friend. I loved him so much too. And we hung out all the time. But what happened was, slowly after time, I remember going up and hanging out with some friends and they're like, Ryan, why are you talking in that weird British accent? And I was like, dang, I became that guy. I became that guy that developed a fake British accent just because I got influenced into doing it. That was me. I hung out with this guy from the UK and I started talking in his fake British accent. That's how fast influence can happen. And like I said earlier, it's a battle that's going on. It's not just a battle for product or new shoes or something like that. It's actually a spiritual battle. If you look in the Bible, in Ephesians, it says this: for we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. You see, there's actually a spiritual battle that we're fighting. We're waging war against the spiritual authorities of the heavenly realms, is what it says. And so who do you think is going to win this battle if we're not even aware that we're fighting it? So you see, our brain, it has a filter, and it filters things through two different categories. It goes fitting in, standing out. It's things like this is cool and this isn't. I like this, I don't like this. And this filter is becoming refined over time. It's getting stronger, it's getting better through things like social media and TV. It's teaching us what is in and what is out faster than ever. And so right now it may look like this. You see someone walking down the hall at school, or you see someone on TV and you think, oh man, he's got cool style. Oh, he talks cool, he walks cool. I think I like the way he is. Oh, you know what? He must be a good person because he's so cool. I want to be like him. And then boom, you're hooked. And that's how fast influence can work. You think they're in, and so you think they're good, and you want to become like them. And that's the kind of battle that we're fighting. Now, let me back up here. You see, not all influence is bad. You see, some influence is good for us. You actually want certain things to influence you. You know, you don't want to walk around living in this bubble, protecting yourself from everything because you don't want to be influenced. No, you actually want things to influence you. And so the question doesn't become, how can we never become influenced? The question becomes, how do we know what are the right things to let influence us? So how do we decide this? How do we learn to start thinking in this way? Once again, let's open up our Bibles. In Philippians, the Bible actually says this. It says, and now, dear brothers and sisters, focus on one thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. This is the solution that we need. This is the answer to the problem. This is how we win the battle. We start to think of things that are worthy of praise. We start to think of the right things. We start to change our filter out. And so how do we do this? How can we practically implement this in our life? We actually do it with something called discernment. Okay, now what is discernment? Discernment is something that's kind of like a spiritual intuition. It's kind of that feeling you get when you know whether something is right and wrong. That feeling when you're like, okay, I know this is something that I should be doing, or I know this is something that I shouldn't be doing. That's what discernment is. Discernment is that thing that decides whether you're going to let this thing change who you are for the better or for the worse. Discernment determines influence. For many of you, you probably already use discernment without even recognizing that you have it. You see, discernment is kind of like this muscle that we have, and we can choose to work it out and make it better, or we can ignore it completely and allow others to influence it. You see, growing up, that's how I kind of was. I didn't really practice discernment. I didn't really have it. I just kind of looked at what other people were doing, looked at the other choices other people were making, and allowing that to determine my influence. Well, here's what I want to give you. I want to give you 3 keys to discernment, 3 keys to developing discernment. And the first one is this. I want you to ask great questions. Now, the first question you're going to ask God for discernment. You see, discernment comes from His, so ask God for that power to understand what is right and what is wrong and what you need to be led to do. But then start to ask your questions in the middle of a scenario. Ask as you're out with your friends, man, is this going to make me better or is this going to make me worse? Is this something that is pulling me in the right direction or is this pulling me in the bad direction? Maybe you have a friend that is incredible and is so wise and you think, is this going to make that friend proud of me or is this going to make that friend upset with me? Ask yourself these questions to kind of gauge what you need to be doing in the scenario. And the second point is this: develop an opinion. Now, this is something you guys are probably already doing without even recognizing you're doing it. Think about when you watch a scary movie and the people run upstairs when they clearly should have gone out the front door. You're thinking, no, that's the stupidest decision you could have ever made. What are you thinking, dude? That's you developing an opinion. Or when you're watching the romance movie and she goes back to that awful boyfriend when you think you should have just left him 3 months ago. What are you doing, chick? That is you developing an opinion. Now, start to develop it in your own life. Start to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't go out with these friends tonight because they're not going to make the best decisions. Or maybe it's a Wednesday night, I got a final tomorrow, I probably shouldn't stay up till 6 a.m. watching Netflix. You know, start to develop an opinion. What happens if we don't do this? What happens if we don't develop an opinion? You see, this is where we start to kind of just go with the flow and let others create an opinion for us. This is where we easily can get influenced, and we think we're apathetic about this opinion. We're apathetic towards whatever this circumstance is, so we start to just decide, with what the crowd is doing. So this is so important to develop an opinion and develop the right one. Start thinking in the right way and using discernment in that way. And the third point is this: choose how to act. It's as simple as that. Now that you know these things, act on it. Act on it and choose discernment. I mean, think about the wisest people in your life. There was never that big, crazy moment in their life where they're like, oh, sweet, there's this moment where I get to use discernment. No. It was the consistent things over time they did that made them that way, that made them wise, that made them have an incredible muscle of discernment. And so what are you going to do every single day to think about the things that are noble and righteous and true and pure and worthy of praise? Because remember, discernment determines who and what we let influence us.
Welcome back. How was that? I totally enjoyed it because it took me back. You know, when the person I was preaching, when he kept saying, "Oh, I remember." I'm sure some of you also at that point would remember certain times you were influenced by people around you. I know the accent one is very common amongst us because we hear, or maybe in school we have somebody that has just come from America or England and they're speaking with a certain accent, and because we all want to feel cool as well, I mean, we all start to talk like with an accent. Or some people just go for summer, maybe 1 month summer holiday, and they're back with a different accent, and you're like, where did she go? How long did she go for? How does she already have an accent, right? I'm sure we have all experienced that. If it hasn't happened to us, we've seen it happen to different people around us. So I'm just gonna quickly pick on some lessons that were learned from that video. The first one is surround yourself with people who have a positive influence on you. Now on social media now, we have people who are called influencers, right? To be an influencer, it means you're promoting a brand. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. To be an influencer, it means you're trying to push a particular brand. If you're not a good person, if you're not now let's be practical. We all heard about a scandal that happened with a popular Nigerian musician, right? And it was still in court, you know, the process was still going on, but he was a brand influencer for certain brands. Now, because of what was happening to him, some brands started to pull out of their endorsements. Because if you are a bad influencer, if you're meant to be an influencer and your image has been tarnished, then you're not good for the brand. So they want to remove you from that. Do you understand? So to be an influencer, you have to make good decisions because you're influencing people to do certain things. Now, don't get me wrong, there's good influence and there's bad influence, as we heard from the video. As Christians, what sort of influence should we have on people around us? If I ask people about you now and I say, oh, what kind of influence does Tope have on your life, right? You would tell me, oh, she's a good person. You know, she has positive vibes, she has positive energy. I like being around her because when I'm around her, she makes me do the right thing always. Or is that not a good thing compared to me asking somebody, oh, what do you think of this person? What sort of influence does this person have on your life? And the person says, no, I don't like to hang with him. Whenever I'm with him, I'm drinking or I'm doing drugs, or, you know, he puts a lot of peer pressure on me and I don't like it. What sort of influencer are you to people around you? And what sort of people do you surround yourself with that influence you? Now, fitting in and standing out. Those are also two different things, because you can say, oh, everybody in school is doing this. I need to fit into the crowd. I need to do what my friends are doing. But this thing that they're doing is bad. Now, if you do the good thing, it's like, oh, please, let's just leave him where he is. That means you don't fit into their clique. But at what cost do you want to fit in? At what cost are you okay to fit in? Fitting in and standing out. We're Christians, we're godly people, we're Christ-like people. we would always do good things. If doing the right thing or doing the good thing makes you stand out from everybody else, sometimes standing out is good because you're noticed. And you would even now be able to influence other people around you. Because imagine somebody new joining school and they're like, oh, why is she always on her own? Why don't people talk to her? And then she sees that because maybe you're always reading your Bible during break time, or you choose not to tell lies, or you don't want to laugh at teachers or things like that, then if that makes you a good person, then please do it. Because I always tell you guys, the decisions you make today, it determines your future tomorrow. You don't know who is watching you now, and they're looking out for your attitude. So imagine in future you run into somebody that was watching you back then, right? Imagine you were a bad person. You always allowed people to influence you easily. The person is not going to want to have anything to do with you because they're going to constantly think, oh, I remember when we're in school, this one, if somebody just does this, she sways that way, she sways that way. So we have dealt with wise choices in the past. This is like a follow-up to wise choices. Wise choices, making wise choices is also a part of who you allow to influence you or what you allow to influence you. Now, he spoke about discernment, and I said at the beginning that discernment is a spirit. The spirit of discernment is knowing the difference between good and bad. And they spoke about 3 ways on how to develop discernment and choose your influences wisely. The first was ask great questions. Now, I love the ask great questions part because you're out, we do it steadily. I know we all do it. You're out and you see your friends doing something. In your mind, you're thinking to yourself, oh, you're like, God, should I be doing this? If I do this, what happens to me? If I do this, what will people say about me? If someone, or you're out and you're thinking, if Auntie Ejiro or Auntie Bisola walks past now and sees me doing this thing, what are they gonna think? Or imagine my mom or my dad just shows up here. We all have that time when you're constantly thinking of these things in your head and you're like, what if, what if, what if, what if? And it's a good thing because that is where the spirit of discernment comes in. You're having an inner battle with yourself and you're saying, what if I do this? What if this person sees me? What happens to me then? Do we understand? So always ask great questions. If I look back, a question to ask yourself is, if I do this thing now and I look back at this day in 5 years, would I be proud of the decisions I'm about to make? Would I be proud of this decision? Always think about it. If you feel like, nah, I'm not going to be proud, or I'm going to be upset with myself, or this person is going to be upset with me, then you know it's not worth it. Just leave it. Now, the second one is develop an opinion. You are yourself. You shouldn't let people make your decisions for you. You should have an opinion. You are a person. You are a living being. You are not a tree or a rock or a book who has no opinions whatsoever. No, you have a functioning brain, right? If somebody says, do this, if you know it's wrong, no, I'm not going to do it. What do they want to do to you? Beat you? It's wrong, I'm not doing it. I'm a Christian, I can't do this. The Bible says I should not steal. The Bible says I should not lie. So I'm not doing it, right? The third one is choose how to act. So you've asked yourself, if I do this, will it make sense? If I do this, will I be proud of myself? If I do this, will God be happy with me? Then develop your own opinion and you say, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And then choose how to act. When you've made up your mind, I'm not going to do it, what's next? Walk away. It's simple. I know it can be hard. I honestly know it can be hard. I'm not going to lie and say it's not hard sometimes. It can be hard. to make good choices, to make the right decisions at all times. But I beg you, the Bible says, think of things that are noble, righteous, and pure. Noble is the word we use to describe maybe people in the royal family. Why? Noble means you're of good standing, you're of good upbringing, you have a certain pedigree to your name. As a Christian, you have that pedigree to your name. You're a noble person, you're a noble priesthood. Always, 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 always do the right thing. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. How would you use discernment next time you are faced with something that could influence you negatively? As usual, I'd like to hear from you guys. Send me comments, leave comments below this video. And you can even tell us times that, you feel like you've used your spirit of discernment. Oh, I was in this situation. My friends wanted me to do this, but no, I decided not to do it. So let me know. And this week, please, I would want us to use this verse as our watchword. It's it's Philippians chapter 4 verse 8. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. I'm going to read it one more time. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Because what we think of is what we act out. That's why I said, please surround yourself with good people and positive people. Always listen to the right type of advice from people around you. Choose good people who you want to influence you. And always think of this Bible verse. I'm going to leave you guys with this. Please note, I'm always available for questions. Everybody, all your teachers, were always available to take your questions. I love you guys. I miss you guys. Have a wonderful week ahead. God bless you.
Open my eyes so I can see. Steady my heart so I can sing of your praises. You are the only one I need. You are enough for, you are enough for me. And even now I see the clouds, a silver lining's breaking. My hope is found in you, my one defense, my confidence, the anchor to my soul. My hope is found in you. Help me to trust in the control, and I let go. You take control, and I let go. You take control, Jesus. I let go, and you take control. And even now, I see the clouds. A silver line is breaking. My hope is found in you. My one defense, my confidence, the anchor to my soul. My hope is found in you. And even now, I see the clouds. A silver line is breaking. My hope is found in you. My one defense, my confidence, the anchor to my soul. My hope is found in you. You're my hope, you're my strength, you're everything. My hope is found in you.
Habib, where do you think you're going?
Stay out of my way. I'm going to play football with my friends, and there's nothing you can.
Silence! You think this is funny, eh? You can get the deadly coronavirus.
The gorilla virus?
No, the coronavirus. Do you know what will happen when you do? Do you?
Huh? What will happen?
You will bring the coronavirus home and then infect everyone. Mommy will be sick, no more jollof rice.
Huh?
Daddy will be sick, no more going out to see movies.
Oh no! Not the movies! No!
Even worse, the government will come and take mommy and daddy away.
Ah, you're just making it up.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
See for yourself.
Okay, it's real! It's real! What should we do?
The coronavirus is out there. We should stay at home for now. Always wash our hands with soap and water so we can prevent it from spreading.
Boo!
Stay home, stay safe from all of us at Ant Hill Studios.